Hello and welcome, long time no see. Today, as you can see, an A4 format, and we'll be trying to create a simple dark fantasy art book cover with the main subject of a journey through the sea with a ship sailing towards the horizon. That's the main idea. It will have to be black and white, so first let's find our images. As you can see, I already found the sea image. As you can see here, the link is down in the description. And now to find a sailing boat. This looks great. Let's flip this so we can make this sailing towards the right hand side, towards the horizon. And remember that the light is from left to right.
Photos.
Let's now find our favorite masking brush so we can remove all those edges that we don't need. Let's create a simple mask. I just mask everything around. It doesn't have to be perfect, we're just training, learning right now, but this is how simple it can really be. Fiddle around with the flow, the hardness of your brush, and just remove a little bit around our ship, wherever you feel you should. So everything will look together and as one image as possible. Obviously we did remove a little bit of the ship, but because we want the waves and put the ship in a 3D dimensions, so a little bit of waves in the back and a little bit of waves in front of the ship. Let's fiddle around with opacity for the sailing boat and make everything black and white. As you can see here, remember you will always have an option to go back and change the colors from those sliders. We will do this later on. Right now, let's remove those two guys from up there, just using the in-paint brush a couple of times, find a decent result and just stick to it. You don't have to be perfect, remember, we are just training, this is very basic, couple of tools, nothing more. And boom, they're gone, it looks a lot more cleaner. Let's add a little bit of darkness. As you can see, we are using the brightness and contrast, and just to make everything as natural, given that the light is shining from the left towards the right hand side of the image. So the right side of the boat should be darker and the left side edges should be brighter. Just to make two layers for brightness and contrast, mask everything accordingly, and just, you should feel this. If this looks okay and the light is consequentially around the image in the same direction, that's perfect. And this is our brighter side of the boat. As you can see, the image is not perfectly blended, but nobody will see this anyway, so we don't have to do this for now. And of course, if you want to add contrast, especially to some parts of your image, and make a little bit of more contrast and or brightness or crash the blacks, always use curves. It's really easy that way. As you can see, we are still using the regular RGB because this image is black and white, but this is only because of the filters. The original one still has colors that we can manipulate and will automatically be transferred to black and white after our filters. Now let's go for the sky and water. Let's add a little bit of clouds. I already got a couple of Affinity brushes that are made and came with the package. And let's just add a couple of those. Let's see what looks the best. Just find a shape that you like, click on it, and put it like that. Smaller, bigger, on the right side, on the hand side. Like, it doesn't matter, just play around with a couple of those. As you can see, we got a lot of different ones. Too bad we can't make the preview a little bit bigger, but maybe Affinity will figure this in the future. But let's try a couple and find our favorite ones. Remember that you can try and find different kind of sharpness for the clouds. So one can be a lot more blurrier, and the other might be a lot more sharper, because then you will have the 3D effect that the clouds are far back in behind in the background, and one of those are low just over the ship, a lot harsher and contrasty because of the harsh light. Of course, it all depends on you. We can always add some motion blur at the end. And now let's move to the water. So I would like those white foamy parts of those waves a lot more brighter with a lot more light inside. So I will just use this cloud brush, different ones, and just paint a little bit more of those steamy crushing waves so they will be more dramatic, bigger, and will look a little bit more awesome. As you can see, you can find pretty much any shape you like. Just rotate it, make it a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. Just, it's like Lego. You just use the block, use already made bits and pieces, and just put everything together. It's really simple. It's not that hard. It does require a little bit of time because, as you can see, here I'm testing a lot of different options. But in the end, it's very fun, and you really can get very decent results with not that much effort in the end. And of course, we can add the title on the end. So just play around with fonts you have. Either this is on the top, in the middle, or maybe a little bit smaller somewhere else. Just, that's it. Nothing too fancy. Those painted waves can be a little bit unnatural, given that everything is a little bit blurry. So I'm using right now the smudge tool and just simply blur it a little bit. You can use either the blur filter on the layer that you painted it, or just the smudge tool and make everything a little bit more smudgy. Remove a little bit of the contrast so it will look as one piece of art in the end. And as I told you before, we got the black and white slider, and this is what you can do with every particular slider, with every particular color in the image. Like, feel free to do whatever you want. You got really lots of... Everything depends on the original image and the colors that we have there, but still you can fiddle around and just make the general contrast either that way or the other way around. It's easy because everything is black and white. In colors it will be a little bit different, but hey, we are learning. This should be fun, easy, and you should be proud that you are doing and learning, and that's the bottom line. And this is how I do it. If you got any questions, hit me down below. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.